Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do your January the 30th Spiritual Principle a Day in a Meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and get into the topic. It is entitled, No Regrets for Being Kind. We approach people with love and kindness, carrying within ourselves a deep and abiding respect for the feelings of others. That comes from It Works, Step 9. I've never regretted being kind, the speaker stated. The rest of us in the meeting thought about those words for 2 seconds and nodded in agreement. It's hard to argue with that. Probably for nearly all of us, treating others with kindness, love, and respect was more difficult in active addiction than it is now that we are clean and striving to be better people. Maybe we were burned by others who treated us kindly but wanted something in return. Very likely we had the same manipulative tendency. Playing either role in this dynamic only reinforced our mistrust of others. If we were up to no good, then so was everyone else. Working steps 4 through 9 is a reality check on our past behavior. By the time we get to the amends process, we're prepared to face the hurt we've caused other people, mostly through our selfishness and carelessness. We witness the results of our manipulation, our disregard for the feelings of our loved ones, and the damaging ways we treated ourselves. The speaker went on. Treating others with kindness is like an ounce of prevention for our chronic condition of addiction. It lowers our risk of doing or saying something we'll regret. And it has the added benefit that we won't have to make as many amends. While we certainly don't have to wait for any step before we show and receive kindness, our relationship to this spiritual principle will deepen as we work on ourselves. We learn to be more thoughtful about the words we use. We no longer use people to get what we want. Although we cannot completely prevent hurting or disappointing other people or stop them from being angry with us, we don't want to make the same mistakes. Through our commitment to recovery, we develop a genuine respect for ourselves and maybe a little belief in humankind as a whole. No regrets there either. I have many choices today. One of them is to be kind. I'll opt for that. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. So I want a special shout out to Lewis for letting me know that yesterday's Just for Today had the same title as the Spiritual Principle a Day meditation. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you, sir. Now, we're talking about no regrets for being kind. And I tend to agree. It really is difficult to disagree with that as far as showing kindness and being upset about being kind to people. I mean, what's to regret about that? Now, there's been times when I didn't weigh out my decision to be kind to other people, and I said yes, and I followed through with my yes, and I ended up regretting it because I did not fully account for what I was saying yes to. So let me give you an example. There's a cause, and the cause involves collecting donations for victims of a huge fire that have been displaced. And those people are now living on cots in a gym, not a tent, but living on cots in a gym like a shelter. And so there's a huge drive to collect clothing and goods for these families. And because, of course, I definitely believe in being kind, especially in a situation like that, and I want to be a part of that, I commit to helping collect the donations. However, what happens is that maybe some other people have agreed to do it and they don't show up. So the volunteers for the collection are shorter, or less rather, and the hours for doing the donations are no longer your 2-hour window, but now it's come to 4 hours, 6 hours, and you're there for the whole session of an 8-hour day of doing nothing but running out into the cold, picking up donations from people's cars and bringing them in. And my body feels it like for the next 2-3 days. I regret that, right? I regret not drawing a line where I began to get overworked or tired, right? But in and of itself, do I regret showing that kindness? Absolutely not. Sometimes the consequences for it, without having weighed out what was required, right? I might regret that. So I do want to bring that balance to this topic, right? Being kind is generally a spiritual principle that we all appreciate. We appreciate being able to show kindness and being shown kindness. And quite honestly, the only time that I remember regretting it is when the after effects, or maybe I didn't really run my budget well, and I said that I would loan someone something or do something financial for someone, and I actually do it because I keep my word, and then I regret that now I'm struggling for a certain bill. Okay. So there's that balance, but that's not really what we're talking about. We're really talking about what kind of regret is there in the spiritual principle of kindness. Yeah, sometimes people you're kind to could stab you in your back, but would you have not been kind to begin with if you had known that that was going to happen? Would that have actually changed your decision to practice a spiritual principle of kindness? And some people might say yes. I beg to differ. I think that when I act, I'm acting out of a pure place. My motive is right. And so that wouldn't really change too much. The end result, just like when we say we carry the message and not the addict, our responsibility is just to carry kindness. What happens after that really isn't my business. I have a clean spirit. I have a clean heart, right? I'm okay because I chose to be kind. And that is a spiritual principle worth developing. We have choices today. And we don't have to wait till we get through all of the steps and have a spiritual awakening in step 12 to practice spiritual principles of them. We don't. We can start that from day one. I'm a lot better today at showing kindness than I ever was when I was actively using. And I think that you would probably agree. You would probably agree. Now, there are some people, right? There are some people that have always shown kindness, whether they were using or not. And a lot of times it didn't have anything to do with them just wanting to be kind as much as them suffering from childhood trauma and not knowing how to show value for themselves. Now, that's a different thing. So when they come into the program, being selfless is almost an indication to them that they need to be taken advantage of some more. And so for them, it has to be tweaked to the point where they understand, no, being selfless isn't doing the same things that you did out there, not taking good care of yourself, letting people walk all over you. That's different for you today. we have to show balance today. So they may have a season or a period of time where their sponsor is coaching them, helping them to learn how to say no, to take care of themselves. It's all a work in progress. And eventually, when they become more balanced, right, they can go back to showing kindness, but in a more healthy way. I hope that's helpful for you today. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose.